Hello, everybody. Welcome to Late Night News. I'm Ross, and we have Alex with us tonight. Nice to have you on here. How you doing,
Great to
Alex?
be here. It's great to be here on the new device. No more overheating. Hopefully you don't get rugged again. And it's a pleasure. Weeknights, 10 p.m. Eastern. Gonna break down some late night news.
Exactly. Thank you for tuning in to Gokhshtein Media, everybody. What do we have on deck today, Alex?
So a lot of great news pieces coming out today. A lot of positive news, and we're just gonna jump right into it, guys. Binance and Mastercard launching a Bitcoin rewards card in Argentina, and this allows consumers to buy things. They can pay bills using Bitcoin, but not just Bitcoin, other cryptocurrencies as well. So this really gets me excited. I would love to see something like that in Canada. And I love that. I love stuff that's just easy to use. Simplicity, getting it in the hands of consumers is just a big thing.
There are certain countries where it's very difficult to get crypto debit cards, or
Absolutely.
they pretend to be crypto debit cards, but really you're just converting things to US dollars and forcing you to issue taxable events. So know your card. But for the people in Argentina, love this. Fantastic.
It's a great piece. And just a lot of positive stuff. This one really caught me by surprise because as a musician, like copyright licensing is always kind of that gray area. And I think the more that we empower people, the better they'll be. So the founder, Kevin Rose, announced that Moonbirds, oddities, they'll make their NFTs use the CC0 public license. So this basically just means that you can use it, no questions asked, no legal doubt. You want to Photoshop it, throw it up as a thumbnail. You want to incorporate it in a video. You want to put on a banner. I think this is really bullish for the space. And I think it's going to really inspire other people to just incorporate that. Like not to be so, like not to be so rigid and stingy on copyright. But we'll see. I think it's a good play.
I wonder what the legalities are of this. I've mentioned this before with other things, such as CryptoPunks when it got bought out by VC, and they said, okay, now you own your intellectual property rights. Just this is a tweet, but what are the legalities? How do you know you've got your IP rights? How do you prove it? How do you prove it if you have to? So someone's like, prove it, and you're like, wow, I've got this tweet. I've got this tweet that proves I've got it, right?
Twitter says so. Believe me. I read it online.
That's something that will probably come up into court cases or legal issues at some point. We need to be smart enough to prove that we have IP rights to things.
Absolutely. No, you bring up a good point because maybe people are going to take big moves just from that. And it's like we definitely want to dig in deeper and see kind of what's the nitty gritty of that for making some big plays, like especially if it's like advertisement or using it for commercial use. You'd want to double check.
You could show up to court with a screenshot of Twitter.
Yeah,
you could try it. You could try it.
It might work. I mean, in this day and age,
it's debatable.
Possible. If crypto's taught me something,
it just has to get approved in court once, and then it becomes proof, right?
You're right. Yeah. Hey, crypto has taught me anything's possible. If tomorrow you launch Ross Macdonald Inu and it goes $1 billion, not financial advice, it's possible.
I already did that. It failed. No.
Oh, I see. Okay. So this was so refreshing when I saw this, when we reported about this. Atwood Import Export, Cambodia's largest importer and distributor, launches VChain Thor blockchain security sticker. So they're going to have a authenticity guarantee on luxury beverages. And this is massive. They're one of the biggest. And so for them to do this just is like a win for VChain, obviously, but a win for crypto and showcasing utility where you can solve real world problems for authenticity. Really was good. Seeing this was just like.
Now, if this was attempted years ago outside of an NFT, this would have been done with cryptocurrencies, IoT sensors, and hardware that would have to be made to scan the IoT sensor, which different companies have tried to do this. I invested in a company years ago called VChain. They tried to do that. Now they're doing it with NFTs and stickers. How cool is that? Now, if the sticker is tamper-proof, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're golden. But when this came out,
Exactly,
I was like, what's a luxury beverage? Like a really nice like Vietnamese boba, or like
Like I go to the beer store and
yeah,
I
I'm
see
like
VChain or
a craft beer six pack. I'm like, okay, Johnny Walker, Hennessy, Tirazaz, Moet, and Chandon bottles. I don't know what that is. Sounds French.
yeah.
This
And
is
you know what?
great.
For safety too. Like for safety, like you're getting a legitimate product. It's not
Yeah,
tampered with. It's not something that could be lethal, like or
yeah,
something. So I think, and you bring up a good point. It kind of melds together with the stickers. So something that's working, kind of that synergy with the traditional space, but bringing it into the Web3 world, solving those problems. That's really,
but
really cool.
who's making knockoff booze? Like, I didn't even know that existed.
I mean, I'm
Wait
sure
a
it's still, I'm sure it's still going on.
wait a
You
second.
know,
Where can I get knockoff booze immediately?
it's definitely going on somewhere. Places where it's made illegal. It's still.
Yeah.
I mean, not talking from personal experience, but yeah, I'm just speculating.
If someone's making knockoff booze somewhere,
Not
you're
knockoff booze advice. It's
not,
not.
not knockoff booze advice. That's go
Yeah,
to my Twitter profile.
yeah, exactly.
If you're gonna try to plagiarize some sort of alcohol, you better just make your own brand and push it.
honestly, make your own brand. Team up with VChain,
Yeah,
get the authenticity.
exactly,
Good to
exactly.
go.
Yeah,
Good to go. Flow blockchain. Flow, of course, does a lot of blockchain stuff, speed, carbon friendly. I think, don't correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that NBA Top Shot has been incorporated with Flow. So they partnered, and they're pumping right now. CoinMarketCap, they're pumping hard. It's like a 40% pump.
yeah. They've
Partnered
got
with,
tons of NFTs under Flow.
yeah. Like I didn't even I'm a complete novice when I was like, Flow? Like I gotta dive deeper. But the TLDR partnered with Instagram, so select users, special users, they're going to be able to connect their Hello Dapper wallet, showcase their favorite NFTs directly on their account. So get to flex some of your NFTs. I think that's cool to be able to use that in the Web2 space. It's
Yeah,
always nice. It's always good to flex the NFTs. I think we're going to see more of that, of like before VR kind of goes off and pumps really hard. We're going to see a lot of AR. We're going to see a lot of Web2 and Web3 synergy. So
yeah,
that's
that's
great.
true. I was in the Flow. I am in the Flow Discord, and it's nuts. It's so busy. There's all these notifications. I'm like, I got anxiety. I got to turn these notifications off, taking over my day.
Jeez, yeah.
There's
It's
a lot
crazy.
happening.
Sometimes it's just hard to keep up, when you bring that up. Some of these Telegram or Discord, it's just like, that's what I was doing today actually. I was archiving tons of stuff, putting them in a folder. It's insane, right? This market never sleeps. So, but it's the beauty of it at the same time.
Yeah,
This was great. Tourism in El Salvador, right? We know El Salvador, they're all about that BTC, has risen over 30% since their BTC adoption, right? Legal tender, adopting it. I think this is great. This really showcases that people are more inclined to go there, maybe spend their Bitcoin, maybe just go there out of curiosity. So I don't know. What do you think?
that's unreal. I love it. That's a huge jump to be directly correlated to Bitcoin. That's like if you're a merchant there and you're accepting Bitcoin and you're having people come in and you're up 30%, you're loving Bitcoin.
Honestly, yeah.
And I would say merchants are probably touching the Lightning Network as well if they're adopting that much, which
Yeah.
really goes to show that the necessity of Bitcoin as a supplement in El Salvador works. But then when you have first world countries and people are like, man, they don't need to do it, it's a store of value. It's so different.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. And whatever people decide to do, even just the public perception of like, okay, this is becoming the Bitcoin utopia. Let's go check this out. Even if they go and don't even spend a penny of crypto. So
Yeah.
I think that's a win. I think that's a
Yeah.
win for the whole space.
Bitcoin Magazine a few issues ago did a whole piece on El Salvador. The whole magazine was pieced on that, and it was a really good read. And it's I appreciate coverage like that.
It's funny that we see the opposite sometimes too, where it's like, El Salvador, you need to stop, reverse what you've done. You still have time. Like Control Z, come back. You know.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but and speaking of that, we'll cover a couple of neutral / negative pieces towards the end. Meta, right? The Zuck, good old Zuck. Shout out to you, Zuck, if you're checking this out. Gokhshtein Media, right? The people's, the community's news.
Yeah.
Meta confirms releasing NFTs across 100 countries after the Coinbase wallet and Dapper integration. So they're going to be, right, steamrolling this. They're going to be snowballing this. They're here to play. They're here to play. And hey, if they're going to help with adoption, hate them or not, the Zuck is going to Zuck, you know?
I think with Meta, it's not at this point, it's not if they will be successful, it's when they will be successful. They can throw 10 business models at the wall. If none of them stick, they'll keep going. Doesn't matter. There's enough disposable income there through Facebook and into Meta where they can do that. They're like the endless what would they call it? The bottomless pockets VC for that.
That's a great thing that you bring up. Yeah, they have just so much of a reserve that they'll just throw whatever they want at the wall and see what sticks. And if it doesn't work out, okay, on to the next idea, iterate the next idea. So yeah,
hopefully they can do that without squashing their reputation, because if the user experience isn't good, if Facebook sort of sucks, because it does, I don't know, I've been on it in
same, yeah.
six months. Marketplace is good. Actually, that's really good.
Marketplace,
that's a really good point.
And then that's when the sentence ends, you know?
Yeah.
That's about
it. And I don't know, we'll see how they do.
Shout out to my grandmas and grandpas playing Farmville and
awesome.
You bring up a good question though. Like, why are people still on Facebook? You know, like it's I don't know. I guess teach their own. You know, I know. Okay, I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I know a lot of businesses use it actively. You know, it's good for advertising. But one thing is that they really crushed the artists. They took like, and I can speak personally for this too. And I saw this with other musicians. They took their likes or their audience that they built, and they put a paywall behind it, so they couldn't get their posts to them. Instead, you had to pay in order to get people. If you had like 40,000 people on your page, pay money for so and so to see them, and they would be, you know, kind of like gate kept behind that. So
I don't like paywalls. Period.
Especially when they like worked to get that community, right? So interesting what Facebook did, but hey, I mean, hopefully there's a chance. We'll give Zuck, you know, round 2.
I look at paywalls like fax machines. It's over.
Ooh, yeah.
Get rid of them.
Speaking of fax machines, perfect segue. Radio Shack.
Yeah.
Now they're not here to sell you fax machines, but you know, there's no AA batteries yet. But they, you know, of course, if you guys have been living under a under a rock, Patrick SpongeBob action, you know, in short, Radio Shack is back, but they're doing crypto, they're doing DeFi, they're doing, you know, Ty Lopez is a part of it. Yeah. And Radio Shack Dex has been listing a bunch of coins, and they've partnered with Floki Inu, a much bigger meme coin. And really, 2 things I just want to kind of go on here is one, that Radio Shack, you know, they have their Dex now. Do your own research, not financial advice. But they partnered with them. It's not just a listing, but they partnered with them to help secure liquidity pools for tokens. So, you know, I mean, all the power to them. I don't have either of these. Full disclosure, I don't have a bag of any of these, but I'm all for innovation in the space and partnerships, and we'll see where they head. We'll see what happens.
I don't know. I am still trying to figure it out. It's like, hang on, they do nothing that they have done before. Like, do Radio Shack stores exist anywhere? Are they in the States?
You and I are old enough that we visited Radio Shack stores, right? Like, did you ever go to a Radio Shack store?
But did Radio Shack become the Source in Canada? Or Source Electronics?
I can't comment for sure, but I mean, many of the Radio Shacks that existed were gone.
Yeah.
I think Bell owns the Source.
Oh, okay.
I think.
So it's different. So
I think
I don't
Bells
know.
owns the source, but you bring up a good point. Like, just because, like, I don't think the name is enough to compel me to use it.
No, well,
And that's coming from like boomers. So like for Gen Z, they don't even think about the RC cars or the AA batteries or the so
because the name Radio Shack, it's like, okay, great, and it's like, well, hang on, what does that have to do with the decks?
yeah, it's like
What does
what
the
else?
brand
What
have to do with
next?
it? It's
Yeah.
like, oh, Ross Macdonald is releasing, a whole bunch of stores selling underwear. It'd
Jumbo
be
Video
like,
DAO.
why? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. Jumbo Video DAO, Coffee Time, Inu, like just like a very old brand, but you're reviving it. Hey,
Now, if they have a Dex and they start releasing like super vintage pictures of their old batteries and NFTs, I'd be like, oh, I'm in. Those blue and green batteries from when I was a kid, oh, I would buy those.
yeah, now you're thinking outside the box. Careful there. You're giving them ideas. You might have to
That's fine.
note these down.
There's no $1 million ideas. There's only $1 million execution. So ideas are free.
I like it. Perfect. You're right. So let's talk about some neutral slash, slightly bearish. I wouldn't even call them bearish, but Senator Warren proposes reducing Wall Street's involvement in crypto to develop an alternative cryptocurrency approach that adequately protects consumers and the safety and soundness of the banking system. So I don't know what her intentions are, whether they're good or bad. We're gonna have to wait and see. Like it's just one of those things that it's just like, I personally think that from her history, I don't think she has the best intentions, especially when it's like the safety and soundness of the banking system.
The longer these sentences are that get cut and pasted into these documents, the less I trust them. And
Yeah,
sure, so when I read that, and you don't want to have Wall Street's involvement in crypto so much, it'd be like for those who like Bitcoin, they'd be like, great, stop leveraging Bitcoin because then there's no longer 21 million Bitcoin, right? Stop trading it off chain and those sort of things. But this thing about protecting consumers, no, that's just about control. That's what that is.
Yeah, I feel like that's just her, like when you end with like safety and soundness of bank, to me, it's like, if we could reword this, it's just purely my opinion, would be like, I don't like the free market. What can I do to strengthen the banks and like strong, hard a hammer? But hey, we'll give her the benefit of the doubt. We're giving Zuck a chance, so we'll give.
We'll wait and see until some new bill is signed at 2:00 in the morning, and everyone's like, "Wait a second, what happened?"
Yeah, we just see it trending on Twitter, so we'll see. And the last piece is Tinder owner Match Group steps back from metaverse plans. Essentially, they were questioning, should we do it? Should we not? Essentially questioning like the viability, the feasibility of it. And
yeah,
like I can see why. Like, this space is so open. It's such an open canvas. When you think metaverse, it could be so much. So that's
Tinder metaverse. That's gross. Come on, guys.
And the thing is that I was having a discussion with my friend. A lot of those like virtual apps have been going on. Like, what's it? Second Life, IMVU, the games, like these virtual environments. They were kind of like metaverse before metaverse was a thing,
right?
Like, and I think metaverse is such an open landscape. We don't know where it's headed, but it is what it is. I would rather them back out and come in when they're confident, or whatever the case may be. I don't know. Metaverse Tinder.
That's weird. That's super weird. But yeah, you don't hear often. You don't hear often of people stepping back. Usually they speculate. They're like, "Hey, we're coming in. We're gonna make a game. We're gonna make hats, and everyone should pump our token or our stock,
Radio Shack token, and buy some fax machines with our AA batteries."
It's the opposite. I don't know who the management group is of Match Group, but they're probably just like don't understand what it is, and they're like, forget it, it's over.
Yeah. And that's probably smarter to do rather than just blindly go in like with what we saw with Luna and whatnot. But yeah, I don't really have any specific emotions towards that. Crypto market is kind of going sideways right now, 1.07 trillion. So just kind of like a slight reduction. I think we hit a high of like 1.1 trillion. So we're kind of just going sideways. We'll see what happens with the market, but still great developments going on, and I think that's key right now. Just keep people keep building and keep up the development.
I'm going to jump back in tomorrow and do weekly wrap up, which will really be not about the news, it'll be about the markets. So if you'd like to watch that, it'll be Fridays at 5 p.m. Eastern. Tune in to Gokhshtein Media. I'll do a little bit of technical and fundamental analysis, really simple stuff to follow along with, and we'll see how that turns out.
Absolutely.
Cool. Well, thanks for covering the news, Alex. Appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Gokhshtein Media, G Media, the people's news, keeping it raw, keeping it unfiltered. And like Ross said, Fridays we're going to be having 5 p.m. Eastern. He's going to be doing the weekly wrap up. Of course, you guys know Monday to Thursday we have the breakdown. Also, a bunch of other cool podcasts. We let you guys know in advance. We're doing the monthly giveaways. I love that, the Ape Coin, and hopefully we can see you guys at Futurist. Also, myself, Ross, and a couple other members, Akil. We're going to be going to Futurist, so it's going to be great.
Yeah, we'll have myself, Alex, Akil, and Carlos will be there, and looking forward to that next week. We'll have lots of media coverage happening. If you haven't got your ticket yet for Futurist, you can go to futuristconference.com and you can use the promo code Gokhshtein50. You get 50% off your tickets, which is a great discount.
Absolutely.
Thanks, everybody. See you on the next show.